Hi, this is Ben Harrington from Wrap Digital, and on my video blog this week, we're looking at something that every small business should be doing, and that's engaging and growing your profile on LinkedIn. If you run a business, be it large or small, and you're not on LinkedIn, you're going to be missing out on people wanting to connect with you. Almost irrespective of the product or service you offer, you need to be on LinkedIn because people want to discover you, they want to find out how you can potentially help them, and LinkedIn's a great place to do that. So today's video is going to highlight a few things that you can consider and implement in order to increase your presence and make you more visible on LinkedIn. Okay, so the first thing you want to really consider is optimizing your own LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn is all about connecting people, so having your own optimized profile is really important for that. And the first thing I would always say is the first thing people will see on LinkedIn is your photo. So make sure you've got a decent professional photo, not one of you at a wedding or, a passport photo, something that looks good. You don't need to get a professional photographer. You can probably take it with a decent camera phone, from your iPhone, etc. So have a decent photo. Okay, so the second thing you need to do is to optimize your actual profile. That's a description of you, and that includes actually the title of your current occupation. Now, most people, when they do this, they'll list where they actually work. I would argue it's probably better to use keywords or phrases that epitomize what you do and put those in the title. I'll actually put up on my blog itself images of what my profile looks like, but rather than saying I work at ABC Limited, say I am, in my case, a social media marketer. I help with online marketing. That way, if people are looking for what you're doing, they're more likely to find you with those keywords. And what you can then do is use those keywords throughout your description. So the summary of what you do at the top can be peppered with those keywords. And again, that's going to help your profile be more visible if people are looking to connect with you or with the kind of business that you offer. And when it comes to that summary description, it's a really good idea to not just blab on about your achievements, because most people don't want to see that. You want to talk about what you do, how you do it, who you typically do it for, and why someone should want to connect with you and the business that you operate or the business that you work for. So again, thinking about those keywords, it's all about how you can potentially help other people. Make it look visually good. Maybe use capital letters for titles, maybe list in capital letters your key skills that might be able to help people that wants to connect with you. And I always think, even though there are places to do it further on down your profile, it's a good idea to have a list of your contact details within the summary at the top of your profile. That might be your email, it might be your phone number, it might be links to other social media that you have. So you put in your Twitter handle, your Facebook page, etc. But just when someone goes onto your profile and sees what you do, they get a clear understanding of who you are, how you can help them, and it's a really good way to start off your LinkedIn profile. And you really want to make sure that your work history is as filled out as possible. I often see people who have big gaps in their work history, and I never quite understand this. I know people take career breaks, I know people do jobs that may not be relevant to the job that they're currently doing, but I would argue whatever you've done in your career, you should put it in. Obviously, the further back you go, the less relevant it's going to be. You probably don't need to add about your 10 meters badge, but put in about your work history, put about what you did, who you helped, the kinds of projects that you did. You can actually add those into each bit of your work history. It just makes you look a fuller person. And again, if you think about those keywords, it will help you be more easily found. You can also add things like key skills, and as people connect with you, they can agree, if you like, that you have those key skills and add those key skills to your profile. It just makes you look good if you have a nice filled out key skill list. You can also ask your connections to recommend you, so maybe people you worked with in the past, if you want to be recommended for particular skills or attributes you've had, or if they work with you on particular projects. Basically, get it as filled out as possible. The more you have on there, the more people are going to be looking for what you do. And it's a really good way then to be found because you look at the part. There's actually a thing that will come up on the right hand side when you're filling out your profile. You want to try and get what we call an all-star profile, and LinkedIn is great for prompting you to make sure that all these things are filled out. Will it take time? Of course it will. It may take a couple of hours, but it's very, very valuable because you look far more professional by having a fully filled out profile. The next thing you want to consider doing is growing your connections. Now, there are loads of different ways to do this. You can actually do some pretty intricate searches to look for people that you might want to connect with. But actually a really good way is you can connect with your email accounts, and you can then see who you've ever emailed or whoever has been a connection in your email that is on LinkedIn. Try and grow those connections. Now, not everyone on there will be on LinkedIn, so maybe look for people who've got profile images, because that's a good way of ensuring that they do actually have a presence on LinkedIn. But draw into those connections. You'd be surprised, even people from former jobs or former lives, they may now be doing something which has a relevant to your product or to the business that you run. So grow your connections, current connections through past or former life, and then look for searching for people that you might want to connect with. Now, there are loads of different levels on LinkedIn. Some are professional, some are free. But no matter what you do, try and make sure that you're connected with the like-minded people that are going to want to share your values, share your ideas, and potentially work with your business. Now, when you're on LinkedIn, you can actually add a lot of content and value, and there are various ways to do this. You can do them in your own timeline. It's a little bit like Facebook, where you're posting updates. I think it's a relatively good way, but I think there might be some better ways. And one better way, perhaps, is to join LinkedIn groups. Now, a LinkedIn group is basically a collection of like-minded people that join because they're in a particular area, because they work in a particular role, because they share particular responsibilities. So, for example, we're based in Berkshire. You might get a group that's, based around business in Berkshire. You might get a group that's based around a particular trade professional. So you might say an HR group, for sake of argument. Whatever it may be, joining groups is a good idea. Now, when you join a group, what you can then do is contribute to that group. So you can ask questions of people in that group, and you can try and build a rapport with people in that group. What does that do? Well, it helps to engage people that potentially might become clients. What you can't do is go in there and sell. It's just not a good idea. But you can go in there and ask open-ended questions that relate to your work, to try and get people to engage in a conversation with you. And you will find over time that helps to grow credibility in your brand and credibility in your business. As well as joining groups, you can also set up your own company page to which you add content. So this is really a bit like a social media side of things. It's a really good way to add useful content that is then shared with people that are following your company page. They can then like it and share it, and it grows credibility. If you're going to do this, you need to do it regularly, a few times a week at least. You probably need to send people to your company page via other forms of social media, or you need to use LinkedIn's paid advertising tool to engage with people that specifically might be interested in what you offer. It's not the cheapest method in the world, but it can be incredibly specific. So that is a potential option with a company page. What you shouldn't do is set one up and then not contribute, because it frankly makes you look a bit stupid. So make sure that you do have a company page to which you're regularly contributing. One of the mechanisms that I like using is something called LinkedIn Pulse. It's basically like a blogging platform, and you can create a blog that relates to what I'm doing now. So I, for example, use LinkedIn Pulse for my video blogs, and that's then distributed around all my contacts. Will every one of my contacts want to see it? Probably not, but there will be some that might be interested in the content I'm producing. So if you do blog, put it on LinkedIn Pulse, because it's a way of disseminating it across your connections to show your blogging, show your videos, whatever you're doing, to a wider audience. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, I'd love you to share the content on social media. The more people that see it, the more people we help, and that's our kind of ethos here. If you've got more questions about social media or LinkedIn specifically, you want to know more about how to optimize your profile, want to get in touch, my phone number and email address will come up right about now. You can get in touch with me with anything to do with online marketing. We'll see if we can help. Thanks ever so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in our next video blog. Bye-bye for now.